Hey Raindrops, the queen and king of reality show tour is back. Nene Leaks and I are coming to a city near you. Wednesday, May 13th, we are in Birmingham, Alabama. Thursday, May 14th, we're in Tampa, Florida. Friday, June 5th, Houston, Texas. Saturday, June 6th, Dallas, Texas. Get your tickets on sale now at kingdomrainint.com. That's Kingdom, KINGDOM, Reign, REIGNENT.com. Can't wait to see you there.
Things like that happen when you have an open relationship. If he's somebody else, he might have a baby. But I'm thinking, well, I didn't give him permission to stick his in there raw. I never agreed to that. I never agreed to him going out of the scope of what our boundaries were. I never knew all of this. After the proposal, like I thought we had an understanding, but everything that's happening today and in between the proposal and today, I don't know about. He decided to go out on his own terms, and I trusted him because he's my man. He's my fiance. You're supposed to trust your man.
Hey Raindrops, on today's episode of Reality with the King, we have a real life hot topic, okay? This woman is all over the news, the blogs, and she has decided to exclusively sit down with me to tell her story for the very first time. And I'm so grateful and thankful she said yes. Give it up for the beautiful Rada.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you so much for saying yes. I'm going to want to talk to you for a while. Our mutual friend, Claudia Jordan. Hey, Claudia.
Hey, Claudia.
She and I spoke, and she was like, whenever you need her, let me know. And I'm like, I actually want her like now.
Aww.
So shout out to Claudia Jordan for making this happen. But I definitely appreciate you with your busy schedule, being a mom, an entrepreneur, real estate mogul, all of these things. And starring on the new season of Love and Hip Hop Miami. You are a busy woman.
Yeah, pretty busy.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So I don't take this for granted. Look, you have been in the news for a lot of things happening with, I don't know, we should say current fiance, ex-fiance. Complicated situation.
Complicated fiance situation.
All right, so we will check the "is complicated" box. Okay, Facebook fans, we will do that. But before we get into that, I want to get to know you.
Sure.
But first thing first, I just wanted to ask you, how are you doing?
As well as I can be. Taking it day by day. I am just very lucky to have a lot of great friends around me, my family. And, with whatever the situation is, Michael's still a great father to my son. So I'm blessed to still have that.
Before you and Michael Blackson was a thing, where are you from? Who was Rada before all of the lights, camera, and action?
I know a lot of people wasn't sure where I came from. They're like, all of a sudden I'm there.
Yeah.
And, I did a lot of things before Michael Blackson. I was a corporate person and I was married previously for a good amount of time, 17 years. I am a relationship person. Didn't really get to explore life the way I should have, like during my college years, high school years. My family was very strict, never really dated, married like my second boyfriend at a very, very young age.
How old were you?
Gosh, I'm going to give my age away, Carlos.
Okay.
It was in my early 20s.
That's okay. Early 20s. We received that. So you married your second boyfriend, your early 20s.
In my early 20s. We had kids a year after. And, for good reasons, I don't like to talk about my children that I've had with him, only because he is a little difficult when it comes to that.
Okay.
And, I respect his wishes. So because our relationship currently is so public, I can't really mention my kids.
Okay.
And so, when I left my marriage, I also left a lot of other things like my corporate job. I had a little tiny cafe business, like mini restaurant business that I also left behind. And then I ventured into cannabis. And that's when, all the partying started happening. I started drinking, never drank before. I had,
How old were you? How old were you when you started drinking?
oh gosh, in my 30s.
So you came from like a really strict upbringing. What
Yeah.
is your nationality?
Cambodian.
Cambodian. So in the Cambodian culture, like, is it typical for the parents to be like really strict? And
yeah.
okay,
Asians, Southeast Asians, period.
Southeast Asians,
Yeah.
period. Okay.
They're just very, very strict. You can't date. You can't talk to boys. You better get straight A's. But I was, not good when it came to school because I had ADHD. I'm gonna admit that I do have ADHD, but I didn't get diagnosed until later.
Okay, so you're diagnosed ADHD. Well, a lot of people who say they haven't been. So kudos for you for going to that step.
Yeah, and so I met a lot of people while I was in the cannabis industry, and that's how I met a good friend of mine, Lil John, who introduced me to Michael. And I was in the party scene all the time. I was in Vegas all the time. I was in Miami all the time. Me and my girls are just out there promoting and, just living the life. We were like always at concerts because that's what the industry's about, And I always told myself, because just being around the industry and knowing how it is and how people move, I always told myself I would never date anybody in the entertainment industry or an athlete. And look what never brought me.
Yeah. So when you met Michael, he was introduced to you through Little John. Was it through Little John telling you this guy likes you, or he's a good guy, you should get to know him? How did that introduction go about?
It was pretty much, I'm having a show. Come and see the show with me. Have some friends there, and Michael just happened to be there. And it's just like one of those things where, hey, Mike, this is Rada Mike type of thing. But it was nothing like that. And I wasn't looking for anything. I just got divorced. I mean, I've been single for 2 years. I wasn't looking for a relationship.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Were you attracted to Michael upon meeting him?
I'm not one who just looks at somebody and is like, oh, he's so hot or whatever, even if the man is drop dead gorgeous. But when I do speak to somebody, that's when the attraction begins. And with Michael, it was just so different because I really didn't know who he was. And if you know me well, all the friends that are always around me, they get it because I never recognize people. I don't know who anybody is. Like, I'm just not that type of person. But when we were talking, he was just so funny. He would make me laugh. And the things he said, it was stupid, but it was so funny to me. And I haven't had a man made me laugh like that in a long, long time. And we just clicked.
And you just clicked and you guys just started dating. Did it get hot and heavy really fast?
No, we were speaking for a good 3 or 6 months via text, I think it was like the third month I went to go visit him in LA. And I was just wondering, why are people asking you for photos? I really didn't know who he was. And then I Googled him and I was like, oh, he's a comedian.
Did he not tell you, I'm a comedian, I'm famous?
He told me that he's a comedian, but I was like, I wasn't really sure what kind of comedian he was.
Right. You're like what level? Is it Chris Rock, Kevin Hart? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't know that he was somebody that kind of had a household name until y'all started hanging out. They're asking for photos. How soon in you guys, in the talking dating stage, did things become exclusive?
Oh, it took a while. I mean, I couldn't take him seriously in the beginning for a long, long time. And when he asked to hang out a little bit more often, like at first we were doing like once a month. I would fly out there myself, go see him. I would take him out to nice dinners, only because he doesn't believe in eating like good food. He eats to live, not live to eat type thing,
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't want fried chicken every day. So I was like, let me take you out. Let me show you what good food is, So I did. I took him to like Nobu. I took him to Catch. And
Would you pay?
I do. I pay.
And he will let you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's African. He's cheap.
Rada, you crazy girl. You're funny too.
Sometimes.
Okay, so you would take him out to like Nobu, Cash, the 5-star restaurants,
Yeah.
flip the bill, and he would like enjoy the delicatessen.
Yeah, he does enjoy it. But he's like, okay, I'm eating it now, but I'm going to an hour later. So what's the point?
Right.
I'm like, just savor the moment in your mouth. Just like you do when you do other curricular activities.
We'll get to that later. Okay. So when you're taking him out, do you remember how long you two dated? Like, was it more than a year before y'all became exclusive?
Yeah, it was a little over a year. And I guess the point where I thought he was serious was when, he was starting to ask me questions like, oh, who are you going to dinner with? Or who are you out with? And I was like, wait a minute, why are you asking me those questions? I don't ask you those questions. We're not in a relationship. And then he's like, I don't care. I'll try. And then I think it was like in Miami when things started to get more serious because he was like, you can answer my phone.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. And it was never like spoken, but we became exclusive without any rules or anything. And that's when, I guess I was perceived as the person who was okay with it being a one-sided open relationship because it was unspoken during that time. And I was okay with it because I was like, well, I don't know where this is going because he has this certain lifestyle and that's not really my lifestyle, but I'm going with it because it's fun at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
But things changed when he got down on not one knee, both knees to ask for my hand in marriage. And that was a shock to me because I was like, oh, wow, he's really serious. And that's when I knew, okay, this is getting serious. And that's when the boundaries started to come into play.
So before he got on both bended knees, he was open about being in an open situation. You guys were dating.
Mm-hmm.
He was honest with you about the fact that he obviously had multiple women that he was seeing at the time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was not really spoken out loud, but it was, hints here and there, like, oh, this girl's going to be there. I'm like, okay, whatever, because I wasn't sure where it was going anyway. And I thought it was just for a good time because in the beginning, we both established that we didn't want a relationship. He just got out of a serious relationship. I just got out of a marriage of 17 years. So we both were okay with it. It's just having a good time. And like I said, once he got down on both knees, that's when it just totally shocked me. And I was like, oh, he's serious,
Is it true that you two had this understanding of inviting women into your bedroom?
Yes. In the beginning, well, even after he had proposed to me, I was okay with it here and there because
Did y'all do it before the proposal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Was being with Michael your first time experiencing girl-on-girl action?
Yes,
Okay, so he introduced that lifestyle to you first.
he did.
Okay.
The funny thing is, before I had divorced my ex-husband, I asked him for an open relationship.
You asked your ex-husband for one.
Yeah. I asked him if he wanted to introduce somebody to the bedroom, and he said no.
Another woman.
And yeah.
Okay.
And
What made you ask that?
well, I felt like our sex life was just so vanilla. And I mean, you've been with one person for 17 years. Let's spice it up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And he said no. And after that, he cheated on me with somebody from another country. And so I was like, okay, you like shot me down, but then you went and did this. Really? While we were supposed to work on our marriage? And I honestly didn't want to let my marriage go. I was really sad that it happened.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of things that were more than just the cheating, you know?
Yeah. So when Michael introduced this lifestyle to you, at least in the back of your mind, you always thought about it.
Yeah.
So you were like, all right, let me just fulfill this fantasy.
Exactly.
And you enjoyed it.
I did.
And then when you guys got engaged officially, you did mention, okay, let's set some boundaries. What did those boundaries look like for you that you want to set now that you were this man's fiance?
Well, first of all, always protect yourself. And secondly, there can't be any attachments if you're continuously seeing one person. That's like another relationship. So I'm not down with polygamy. I'm not down with being with a man who has 2, 3 women at the same time, even if, you know, they're not considered his girlfriend. But if you have a relationship continuously with this one person, that's a relationship. I don't care what you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so I just wasn't down with that. And I made that pretty clear. And that's why we said, okay, well, once a month, right?
That was your rule.
That was my rule.
Okay. And in your definition of that, it's one different woman per month.
Yes.
Nobody can have seconds.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he was cool with that.
Did the side chick per month, was it the rule that you had to be present?
No.
Okay.
No. As long as the communication is open and we're being transparent with one another, I'm okay with it. Like if you are not hiding anything from me, then to me, you're being pretty much transparent and you're following the rules. But if there are some facts that are hidden for whatever reasons, there's a reason for it. So I'm not cool with that.
Were you allowed to have one side chick a month just for you?
He says he doesn't care if I do, but I feel like when we almost got into that situation, he cut her off like real fast as his friend.
So is it because he wasn't?
I don't know. I don't know what that situation was. It was one of his friends that I really liked, and she came around, and we became very close. And I don't know what happened till this day. He just cut her off, didn't want her coming around.
Did y'all three have dealings?
No,
with each other?
Not with each other, but her and I.
But he was cool with that.
I thought he was until he wasn't. I never got an explanation. So I haven't talked to her. She moved to another country. He just didn't want her around anymore after that. And he was really at the fact that she was over one time when he was out working. I don't know. I can never explain that.
Do you want me to explain it for you?
Sure.
I got some insight, girl. I know men and Africans. No,
but she doesn't have a D, so what's the problem?
The thing is this, and we'll get more into this, but I'll address this particular one.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is the fact that when it comes to a man, okay, men have this rule like our parents did growing up.
Okay.
Do as I say, not as I do, right?
Right.
So in his mind, it's okay because he's a man to go out there and do his thing. But the thing with you, you're his wife in his eyes, right? You're his prized possession. You're the apple to his everything.
I would like to think that.
But I know, but we'll get to that later. Listen, men are weird.
Yeah, I
we
would
are.
say so. You guys are
Listen, I'm a gay man,
complicated.
but I'm a man. We are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But I always tell my girls, the thing is this: when it comes to a man who sees you as the one, in his mind, he made up a rationalized reason as to why he's able to dibble and dabble in every person or, every woman that he wants to. But when it comes to you, the idea, whether it's a man or a woman, the idea of you having additional feelings for anyone, oh, he can't handle that. Because he has to be the main focus. So you did nothing wrong. You were a part of this bargain. You played your role. The moment he knew that this woman was over your house and he wasn't aware of it and he found out about it, it was the jealousy came from, no, this bitch is taking my spot. You like her? Like, no. So he was afraid that this woman was going to replace him.
Oh.
Because he wasn't in the middle of controlling both parties.
Okay.
And oftentimes when a man is with his wife, wifey, fiance, or exclusive girlfriend, and he does invite another woman in the boudoir, it's a control thing for him. I'm controlling both of you guys.
Okay.
So for
that
you
makes sense.
to go independently outside of him to do something else, he lost control of the situation. And she had to move out the country, baby. Because he said, you got to go. You got to go. And that's why, listen, I'm going to say this.
Funny.
Allegedly, I wouldn't be surprised if he gave her some money and moved her out and said, don't call. Don't
No.
ask. Wait. Is he too cheap?
He's too cheap.
Look, but maybe he's too cheap. Yes, but so that's what happened. I want to get into the fact that, look, I'm very curious about this because I'm sure you heard this before too, that when you invite another woman into your bedroom, you're inviting the permission for the man to cheat. Hindsight is 2020. As we get into what's going on currently, would you say that that's true?
I would say that it can be true. But in this situation, it's a lot way far different than that. If I knew that just opening up a relationship like this just gives him the permission to do more and more, because that's what it seems like, you give an inch, they take a mile type thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't deal with that. But, with me never exploring life, and this is my first time just doing something different, and I have a very open mind. I'm willing to try anything once until I don't like it, and I won't do it again. But then also, I believe when you select a man to be with, he is who he is. You're not going to go into a relationship trying to change anybody.
Correct.
But if they want to change and evolve themselves, amazing. I went into this relation specifically because I felt like this was such a true connection for me, because I didn't have a lot of the things that I craved in my last relationship. We never had fun. We never laughed. We never got along like we were the best of friends. And that's what I had with Michael, and I was willing to meet him halfway because I valued that more, that friendship side. I never really had that connection. Even with the men that I've dated in between, I've never met someone with that connection. And, the businessmen, they're great, but they're boring.
Yeah.
I needed some excitement in my life. I mean, I've had a boring life for however many
17
years.
years.
Yeah, serving my role as a wife, as a HR consultant, as a mother, a taxi driver, a tutor, a chef, So I needed some excitement after that.
Yeah, and listen, I think in your defense too, Rada, you got married young. You
did.
married your second boyfriend. Y'all were married for 17 years.
Yeah.
You wanted to add some spice to that marriage. You even volunteered, like, do you want to bring a third party and a woman? He said no. Ended up cheating on you with another woman anyway. You're like, okay, fine. You're single. You're deciding to put yourself first.
Yeah.
And as a woman of a particular age, you're just trying to figure shit out. And then you meet this guy, and one thing I know for sure, I know this for certain, comedians always pull the baddest women. Because I always tell men, if you can make a woman laugh, you got her.
That is so true.
Isn't it true? Like,
yeah, that's the truth.
Beautiful women get hit on all the time. What makes a man stand out to her is, can you make me laugh?
Exactly.
And so I just want you to know, I understand your journey. I understand the connection between you and Michael. I understand that the curiosity that you had in your marriage is peaking now in this situation with Michael. And you're exploring your sexuality. I think that's fine. You're a grown woman. You should be able to do that. I think what unfortunately went wrong is Michael decided to not continue with the agreement that was set upon, like you said, using protection.
Yeah.
So when you found out that he did get another woman pregnant, where were you when that information came to you?
Oh my God. It's still so recent to me. It's like yesterday. I wish that information came to me privately from him, but unfortunately it did not happen in that fashion. I already signed the contract for Love and Hip Hop. We started filming already when that information came to me through a DM. At first I was...
Somebody DM'd you first?
Yes.
A random person?
It's a fake profile.
And what did it say?
Pretty much telling me the situation and giving me her phone number to FaceTime if I don't believe. But I was like, this must be fake because I get fake DMs saying stupid shit all the time. And I was calm. And then, that day I just completed a scene with him. I was still pregnant. I was like 8 months. And I didn't want to call him because I knew he was filming like another scene, but I wasn't sure what that scene was. So that made me curious. And I was like, are you filming with this chick? Because I'm getting this DM right now for whatever reasons. So I waited until he came home that night after filming, and I confronted him. And at first, just me asking that question and looking into his eyes, I knew it was real. I confirmed it in my heart, my soul. I felt it just by looking at him. He didn't even have to say a word. And he confessed to it. Oh, I was just so heartbroken. All I did was just bawl and cried on the floor. Like my heart just sank. It was a lot of emotions all at once. And I felt so alone. I felt like everybody knew around me except me. And I got played pretty much. So there were just so many questions in my mind during that moment. I was like, why would you go to the network and not come and talk to me? Why couldn't we have handled this privately? He didn't have anything to say. But, you know, it was true. And I filmed the next day with that pain, that anger, just, you know, just so much going through my mind. I had to film a scene where had to be happy with my friends. And it was tough. It was a tough period of my life. And it's still tough now. I mean, like I said, it's very recent. I went into, well, I had to be induced into labor 2 weeks early because of all that was going on. It was
You
just
were
a lot.
stressed
I
out
was
of-
very stressed. Didn't eat, didn't take in fluids well. I was just hurt, beyond hurt. You know, it was like the ultimate betrayal. I would never wish this upon another woman. Never. And, you know, in some of the scenes, because it was so fresh, like I reacted in a way where I shouldn't have reacted. And I don't want people to think that, you know, I don't want him being a father, but that was so painful at the moment. I couldn't help how I was feeling. I understand the children are very innocent. Both children are innocent, you know, coming into this world. It's not their fault. It's not. And I want him to be there for the other child. I really do. But my whole concern is, how are we going to handle that without you having that relationship with the mother? I'm okay with you like having a co-parenting situation type relationship, but for it to go beyond that, because it was beyond that when you had this baby on me. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just hard for me to trust and see how he would navigate through that, especially knowing who this woman is, because she's been around us, Carlos. She's been around us plenty of times. She's been to our gatherings. She's been to our parties. He hired her to twerk on his podcasts and serve drinks to the guests, you know. So she's been around. She knew our dynamics. She knew how our relationship was. She knows when I'm hurt, like when, you know, he does these things with other women, and she knows that it shouldn't be any type of relationship between him and her. She knows all that. And her narrative is, oh, I only met you once. I don't know you, but we talked plenty of times. So my whole thing is, look, I would never get upset at a woman for a situation like this. It's always the man's fault. If he's lying to her, if he's lying to me, you know, that's none of our faults. But in this situation, she has to take the blame too, because she knew what was going on.
Was she a friend of yours?
She wasn't my friend.
Okay.
I felt her energy from the jump. I wasn't trying to be friends with her.
He
But
brought her around.
His best friend, Chinese best friend, brought her around and introduced them. Way in the beginning, for you know, when he had those Tuesdays and stuff like
Is she
that.
a dancer?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so. And I believe there's more to it. But, you know, I don't want to say too much, only because, you know, I'm not going to expose her like that.
Yeah. You know, did you confront her?
We did it in one of the scenes. It didn't go very well. Her mouth just kept on running. And I'm like, you know what? You owe me an apology. But she feels that I owe her an apology. I'm like, the audacity.
I'm sorry, that was me gagging.
Oh, believe me, I had the same
I mean,
same feeling.
I mean, you're the fiance. Why does she feel like you owe her an
No
apology?
idea.
Okay.
No idea. And yeah, so that's what it was. And It's just a lot.
It's a lot. Michael Blackson did an Instagram post. Obviously you saw that because you responded to it. Where I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he intimated that, look, we had an open relationship, and it is what it is, pretty much. What were your thoughts when you saw what he posted to let the world know what was going on?
I was just like, okay, first of all, it was almost Halloween. I was supposed to be having a good time at a friend's Halloween party. I was in Vegas. And with my son, of course. It was like a family Halloween party with my good friend Amber and her husband Wanya Morris. They have a little girl, so his little girl was having like a little Halloween bash. And I was staying in their guest suite. All of a sudden, my phone was just blowing up early in the morning, like 7, 8 in the morning. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm getting these texts. They're like, are you okay? What's going on? And I'm like, what the hell is happening? So I open up social media and I see the post. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Excuse my French. But I was like, I was confused because I'm just reading this. I'm like, is this an apology? Are you unveiling your son? Or are you unveiling the fact that you had a friend of 5 years? Which one is it?
They were friends for 5 years?
That's what he said on the post. Exactly. And so I was like, again, why would you put something out like this? And why was that even necessary? Like I had no idea you guys were whatever, friends or doing whatever for 5 years. Like this was all new to me. And I knew like they were messing around before, and he would always tell me, oh, it's just pussy here and there. It's nothing, so I was thinking it was nothing. And when he posted that, I was like, what are you trying to say? This is not an apology. That I feel like I have to say something because I'm not going to accept that. And it really like infuriated me because I'm thinking, I don't know what the goal of this post is. And furthermore, like you're having my son, the other baby, and I felt like timing is everything. Like, why would you just, I don't know. I felt like he just threw it in my face almost. So that's why I responded the way I did. Maybe it was an emotional reaction. I don't know how normal people are supposed to respond to that, but that's how I responded. Mm-hmm. And, I apologize if it came out the way it shouldn't have came out, but that's how I was feeling during the time.
And the age difference between your son and the baby that they had, mm-hmm. They're, is it 2 months apart?
I would say it's 1.5 months.
They're 1.5 months apart.
Yeah.
So he got 2 women pregnant at the same time.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry.
Me too. It's unfortunate, but it happened. I'm trying my best to move past it. And a lot of people seem to think and criticize me for allowing for him to have this open type relationship, and then me sitting here crying about what has happened. They're like, well, I mean, things like that happen when you have an open relationship. If he's somebody else, he might have a baby. But I'm thinking, well, I didn't give him permission to stick his in there raw. I never agreed to that. I never agreed to him going out of the scope of what our boundaries were. I never knew all of this. After the proposal, like I thought we had an understanding, but everything that's happening today and in between the proposal and today, I don't know about. He decided to go out on his own terms, and I trusted him because he's my man. He's my fiance. You're supposed to trust your man. I'm not going to question this grown man. I'm not his mother. You know, if you're going to give me details of what's going on, or you decide to be transparent with me, fine, then I'll have that conversation. But I'm not going to go sit there and be like, oh, where were you at tonight? Or who were you with? What were you doing? What kind of relationship is that? I want to have fun in my relationship. I want to enjoy each other's company. I'm not about to sit there and fight with a grown man. And he shouldn't be doing that with me either. We're supposed to be enjoying each other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people do criticize me and judge me. But at the same time, like, had I known what I known, like, it wouldn't have went down like this. I was in the dark.
No, and the thing is, a lot of women are, and look, I'm glad you're addressing the criticism because, listen, everyone is saying everything you just said, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we're seeing a lot of this happen lately with public announcements of breakups and divorces and all this other stuff where couples were open about, yeah, you know, we invite women in our bedroom and we have them, you know, enjoy us, and that's that. There is this sort of call to action when it comes to women now feeling like, okay, if I'm a woman who I may identify myself as bisexual, or if I'm a woman who don't mind, you know, dibbling dabbling with women from time to time, and my man is cool with it, how can you be in a relationship where you're both able to explore your fantasies sexually, but the lines don't get crossed? And I think what's happening to Rada is I think women are able to separate it.
Yeah.
But I think the moment women open up that door to their husbands, I do understand how people can now say, I'm now opening up his sexual desires to do this even when I'm not present. Because men will make excuses for it. Because this is how I feel. And this is me and you talking. I feel like men in their minds feel like, I mean, shit, you know, she know what I'm about. You know, we do it together. But if she finds out, you know, my excuse is going to be, hey, you know, whatever, I'm going to buy her back. I feel like men come up with excuses. And that's why a lot of times men do it independently of the deal that was made between both parties. Because look, at the end of the day, married couples, engaged couples, couples in general, do what you want to do in your relationship. Right. But I do think for some reason, well, not for some reason, girl, I'm a man, so I get it. I do think women need to understand, though, that you are playing the role of dice when it comes to the man. Because 9 times out of 10, he feels like you're giving him permission to sleep with other women. And that's not fair to you girls, but that's how they think.
You know what? I was naive, yes. I'm going to take that and admit to that. Now I kind of understand the male psychology. I've learned a lot with this man.
Yeah, and you're not alone.
I'm still learning.
Listen, between us girls, you're one of 40 women I know that dealt with this.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to live in Atlanta, so I'm used to my girls dealing with this. So I don't want you to think you're alone in this, and that's the reason why I can say to you, like, and you're not naive. I wouldn't even say you're naive. I understand that when it comes to women who are much smarter than men, women have the capabilities to say, got it. Like, this is it.
Right.
And we're good.
Right.
Like, okay. Men, no.
I get it now.
No. I have never, and I've spoken to a lot of straight men, a lot, over 100. And every straight man told me this, and I'm going to say this to you, and I'm going to say this to all the women out there. And when I say this, this is the harsh reality that I've been told by all men that I know who are heterosexual. They do say to me, the moment my girl agrees to inviting another woman to the bedroom, she's inviting me to cheat. Because, and this is the part that I'm going to say, and it may sound hurtful to women.
Yeah.
Men have told me that if I have respect for her, I would never even do this.
I've seen that too.
You've seen that too, so you know I'm not
Yes.
lying. They
No.
said a man would never allow another woman to come in their bedroom if he had respect for his wife or his fiance or his girlfriend. And that is something that men isn't going to say to you.
Right.
And I may have just broken the bro code. But I do think when it comes to women, you ladies should know what you're signing up for, because I look at you, Rada, and I come here with no judgment. I've come here as a grown-ass man in his 40s who is an openly gay man who understands that everybody has their own ideologies of what their relationship looks like. And I think that's okay. And it's fine. What I don't think is fair to you women is the men not being honest.
Right.
And I always tell men, I strongly believe if you're honest to your woman, like, this is what I need, you'd be surprised what she'll accept.
And that is so true. That is so true. I'm able to accept a lot. You know, like I said, I have an open mind. Just be honest with me, be transparent, be direct. That's all I've asked for. And give me the opportunity to make the decision. Don't make the decision for me by lying, you know? And so I just felt like a lot of this was not based on my agreement to whatever it was. It just was an unknown thing that I guess I agreed to because I didn't know, you know? So I just feel like it's easier when you have a relationship where you can both be honest with one another. Let's just be honest. Let's just be direct. And if this isn't working and if this isn't what you really want, and I'm on a different page than you are, then maybe we shouldn't be together. You know, it would be much more simple instead of having to hurt one another and having for someone to even go through all this right now.
Yeah.
Because it's very painful. It's traumatizing. It's a lot of things. And, you know, I don't know if I will ever be able to forget it because it's so damaging, but I'm able to try to move forward from it the best I could.
What is the current state of your relationship with Michael?
Right now, we're trying to navigate co-parenting. It's difficult because, you know, I still love him. I've been with him for going on 7 years. I care for him deeply. And for me, I don't know if any other woman out there feels the same, but when you get to know a man or anybody and you know their history, you understand the obstacles they've been through, how they were raised, and, you know, their trials, their tribulations, you can't help but see that child in them and want to fix them for whatever reason. We women do that.
I was going to say that, yeah.
And I'm a healer by nature. Like I do that with my friends. I do that with my family. And so when I love hard, and I can't help it. That's just my nature. And that's what I was doing in this relationship. And I still love him. You know, it's hard to say what will happen because now it gets more complicated with the baby involved. And, you know, our past history with trying to have babies, the miscarriage, IVF, and then we gave up on it, and all of a sudden it happened. I felt like it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
But then, you know, that other situation, I don't know what reason that happened for, but it happened. And so, you know, I want to say I want to give up on the relationship today, but at the same time, I'm like, gosh, like we've fought through so much together. So I don't know. I don't know where we'll land, but it's, it's a still in progress working relationship.
Yeah, and listen, Rada, there's no timeline for you to make a decision.
Yeah.
I think you have to obviously focus on raising your bundle of joy that you guys have together.
That is my priority.
Do you know what I mean? I think that's the priority for sure.
Yes.
And I think when it comes to Michael, look, I am a firm believer that when it comes to people's relationships, do what works best for the two of you. It's obvious that, this is my opinion, it's obvious that unfortunately, a third party of any circumstance, whether it's once a month, a variety, I just don't think that works for your relationship because it's evident that it doesn't. And I think Michael has to make a decision as a man to say to you on some honest shit like, I can't be with one woman for the rest of my life. And I think if that's how he feels, he should say it to you.
Right.
And then it's up to you to decide what to do with that. And if that is something you want to continue on, that is your right.
Right.
I don't want you to think about the world judging you, whatever. Everyone's marriage relationships are different. But I always implore people, let's first rip the Band-Aid off and have this uncomfortable
I agree.
conversation that's going to hurt the both of us, but hopefully we can heal from it.
Right.
And you never know what beautiful surprise can come out of it.
Exactly. And I'm down with that. I'm down with having a real conversation, but I don't know what he's afraid of. I really don't. And he said it publicly, oh,
that he can't.
I'll choose my side, or I can't cut off my or whatever he says. I don't know. I've heard it time to time. And that's what I get criticized for him. They're like, well, he's telling you to your face that he can't stop.
Yeah, which is fair. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But at the same time, behind closed doors, he comes and tells me, oh, that's my character. That's what I'm supposed to say. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's my shtick. I'm a comedian.
I'm a comedian.
That's a part of my act. Yeah,
pretty much. So of course, I believe him.
Yeah.
But a caveat to that is, yes, I do know that he's still messing around with other women.
Still today,
the monthly thing that we've agreed to when we, had gotten engaged to one another.
He's still doing that.
I don't know if he is now.
Okay.
But that's what the agreement was. But I knew that even though he's out there speaking publicly about, oh, I can't commit to one woman, or I've always cheated on my girlfriends or whatever, But I guess my point is, he's coming to me saying, well, that's who I am. That's how I have to be. I'm a comedian. I'm supposed to be funny. I'm one of those walking clickbaits type thing. So, of course, I'm going to believe him. But, I didn't think it would be to this extent.
Yeah, of course not. Listen, I want you to know this. You're a beautiful woman.
Oh, thank you.
You are a sweet soul. I feel your energy. And I want you to know that at the end of the day, whatever you decide to do, I want it to be your decision. And I want you to know your own worth. And I want you to know that if you decide to not continue, know that there is somebody that is existing for you. If that is something you decide not to do. If the relationship is something you want to continue pursuing, know that my advice to you would only be to, when a man shows you who you are, believe him.
Yes.
And the moment you start to see signs again that history repeating itself, and if that's uncomfortable for you, then that's when you have to ask yourself, are you willing to put up with this? And the only person who knows that answer is you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
So
No, I appreciate that. And, that's actually something that I'm thinking through right now. I'm just taking it day by day because I feel like, there's just so much going on and it's so heavy. I don't want my emotions to overtake logic. Like I said, there's a baby involved now, and there's always someone for somebody
mhm.
at whatever period in life you are.
It's true.
There's always somebody out there
Hmm.
that's meant for you. But my main priority is Michael Jr. And I don't have the emotional capacity for anybody right now.
Yeah. No.
I really don't. And so I'm going to take my time. I'm going to heal. And I believe once I'm healed, I can make that right decision. And that's my priority right now, is healing myself.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. And listen, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you for your honesty.
Mhm.
I know that's not easy when you have the world looking at you and judging you, making all of these statements, but
Yeah.
you are a strong woman and you have been so resilient in your response to something that I just know I couldn't imagine going through publicly. But I also want you to know too that you are speaking for a lot of women who are going through this, and the way you're handling here, just poised and so beautiful and just so honest and with integrity, you are showing women that look, when this thing sort of happens, there's an alternative to how you cope with it, and
Yeah.
that and what you're exemplifying to me is a woman of grace. And
you.
Michael, you're not gonna get that often. That's my thing. So, brother, chill. But I want the best for you.
Thank you.
Love and Hip Hop Miami is airing. Catch that. It's every Tuesday, right?
Every Tuesday on BET at
Yes.
8 p.m.
Yes,
Central,
8,
I
7
believe.
Central. So make sure you guys check her out. And where can they follow you?
Ms. Rada Darling on IG
Yes.
and TikTok.
Yes. Yes.
But
yes.
I'm on IG more.
IG more. All right. Thank you, Raindrops. I'll see you on the next one.
Bye,
Thank you,
everybody.
Lovey.
Thank